What's going on, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again, and we're here with another episode of the Hall of Game. I definitely apologize for being late. This is my fourth live stream today because I wanted to clear all of them today. We might do a part two on this topic. Brother Rent Turner and Brother Antoine might be joining in, but today's topic is brought by our brother Sub Zero. I actually have four topics that I was going to win in, and the guys were excited about it. In Sub Zero, well, I got a topic right now. So we looked at the topic, and it was pretty good. So I thought that we would weigh in on Brother Sub Zero's topic, and that is the street knowledge versus the brother who's book smart. And a lot of guys are excited about it, so we want to go ahead and bring this show to you courtesy of the Hall of Game. Shout out to Brother Gabe A, who produces most of the content on this show, and this show is tailored more towards African American men that are looking to move up in entrepreneurship or home ownership, corporate level. Or you looking at maybe switch careers? Maybe you're stuck in a career right now and you want to do something different. You want to change careers. So we address all of those on the a Hall of Game. Oh, Uncle Markel wants to come on. We're gonna bring on Unc. All right. Shout out to Unc. Go ahead, Brother Sub Zero, and introduce yourself, brother.
Hey guys, Sub-Zero 3639. I run Lifting the Veil IT Academy. Hit me up if you into the six-figure range in IT. I've gotten over $1.6 billion of offers for my students. Proud of my students. So that's where we at.
All right, no doubt. All right. And brother, keep it techie.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? This Josh from Keep It Techie, got a YouTube channel where I talk about Linux and different operating systems, different programs and all that stuff. I have a bachelor's degree in technology, and I just open up, to helping young brothers by mentoring, trying to help them get into IT.
All right, and my name is O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'm a bachelor's of science from CSUS Sacramento, biology, go Hornets, fourth year medical student. I'll be graduating at the end of 2020. Well, depends on Corona, and hopefully looking to further my career in that. And also, I'm a hood entrepreneur, right? I am a self-made Negro social media connoisseur. And I focus on bringing Black men together. I focus on Black male development. I focus on Black male entertainment and content of all aspects. Not only do I create content for this space, I've done it for other YouTubers. I've done it for other social media platforms. I've created for African Diaspora. I created for Sonetta, Woody Maya. I've created for almost a lot of big YouTubers on the space. So I've been able to take my my understandings of how this works and how Black content works across the world, not even just America, but in Africa also. So which I'm currently at. So I'm able to do a lot of different things. And I thank you for you brothers for allowing me to be able to have that experience. All right. Today's topic is street knowledge versus being book smart. Sub-Zero. Why are we talking about this today?
Well, I'm from the hood, just like most Black people that are educated people. And I think there's a big misconception going on. I kind of alluded to it yesterday that somehow you're on a higher moral ground because you're from the streets. I've seen Black people on numerous occasions pat themselves on the back and say, I'm from the streets. I grew up poor. I grew up, which I did too. But this is what they say. And they say, or I've been in situations where people will see me, I'm clean cut, low haircut. They'll be like, oh, you not from the streets. You don't understand. You ain't from the hood. You ain't never had this and never had this. Like I ain't never had the lights cut off or the gas cut off or been on food stamps or eat, cinnamon toast for dinner. So I've had the same experiences. There's nothing, and I hear stuff like, the hood, like you can't come to the hood. I've heard that before. And so I just think people kind of really have a misconception about Black people and educated people in this space. I think a lot of us tend to think in terms of hyperbole, and we tend to think in terms of people being some sort of caricatures of instead of real people. And I don't see it. I don't see it like that. I see it as it's different in every facet. It just is. Every case is different. And I can make this case with ease. There's not, first of all, I don't think, I'm gonna go into it. I got a lot to say, but go ahead. I'm gonna let Keep It Techie get it in.
All right. And let me shout out to brother Antoine Wade, to the Smart Brother Fund. Say, keep it taking it, O'Shea. Thanks so much for the shout out. I'll try to wrap up my chores or join. We will see. You do have the link, brother. Uncle Markel, the link is there if you'd like to join. He's actually living in Medellin, Colombia. Go ahead, KIT.
Okay, so I mean, I guess I could bring to this, kind of my understanding of street smarts versus, being educated or whatever. I mean, I've dealt with that in the past. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with, just being in different situations or whatever. Some people, have called me sellout because sometimes I'm able to, dress up and look nice or whatever. I mean, I grew up in a pretty bad area, you know what I'm saying, down in Louisiana. And I had to learn, growing up, and a lot of this helped me, navigating the corporate environments as well. A lot of those things that I learned from growing up in those type of environments has helped me navigate real good in those type of areas. And I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of. But nah, that's all I wanted to say at this moment. Go ahead, O'Shea. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. That's my email, Uncle Mark. Let me just talk about this. When I was at Howard University, I was taking organic chemistry, and the chair of the department was Dr. Jesse Nichols. There was a guy that was more esteemed than him that was an inorganic chemist by the name of Dr. Thomas Hambright. Dr. Thomas Hambright was a graduate of University of Chicago. Now, for those people who know the schools, the Stanfords, the Yales, the Harvards, people forget about the Carnegie Mellons and the Vanderbilts and the University of Chicago's. So University of Chicago is in the same breath. I mean, Obama taught law at University of Chicago. So University of Chicago is a very elite school. So he was a graduate of there in chemistry. He was the most brilliant chemist there. Almost won a Nobel Peace Prize. The problem with Dr. Thomas Hambright, in comparison to Dr. Nichols, is Dr. Nichols had more social skills, and Dr. Hambright was just an academic. And I'm saying that long-winded story to say, a lot of times street smarts can be equated with what Brother Antoine Wade talks about all the time, are those soft skills. And when you look at people who are street smarts, for those people who don't necessarily have a lot of academic ability, somehow they know how to use the other skills. They're social. They know how to make friends. They can talk for themselves. They're aware of where they're at. They can adapt really quickly to their environment. They can, sometimes they can sense danger. They can know where to go and where to turn, when to say something and when to not. But somebody like, Einstein, it is said that, despite having this being able to see this third degree calculus stuff in vectors and 3D, he couldn't even understand where he was at. Like, he couldn't find his way home. He would, routinely get on the wrong trains and stuff to go to conferences and sometimes miss them. And a lot of times we talk about street smarts. It's not necessarily that you're in the street per se, or you're dropped off in Harlem, or you're dropped off in, the South Bronx, but more or less, I'm using the skill sets that have nothing to do with academia to propel me forward. And I think that's the difference between a lot of people who get stuck, let's say in laboratories, or the person who's able to translate, or we would talk about transferable skills, and that person is able to go up and become the CEO or CFO. That person who's able to go from, I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and now I can go to Harvard B School, and then I know how to, I can build a corporation amongst people's talents. A lot of times people who run those kind of organizations and can do that, these people are navigating with this idea of street smarts. And a lot of times we think that it has to be, I mean, and people have street smarts even in corporate America. Because in Black America, you got to have some sort, especially you living in Montgomery, you living in Del Paso Heights. If you don't know where your surroundings are at, you might get hit by a stray bullet. Something might jump off. Sometimes you need to know when to run, when to stay still, when to say something, when not to snitch, when not to say. All of those are street smarts. And a lot of times, a lot of those keys are knowing when to do something, when not to do something. And a lot of people who are book smart or academic, those people the relationships tend to go sour in other places. Like one of my friends is really smart. But when it comes to girls and understanding cues and understanding how to make friends, he struggles like severely. He's almost too smart for his own good, And he's very astute. He's a very high IQ, like very, very smart. But when it comes to these other fragments of what would make up a whole complete person, he fails. And I would say this: in the American school system, what I like about it, the American school system is such that when you go to college, what do you have to take? You're taking English, you're taking a certain level of humanities, you're taking the social sciences. The collegiate system is trying to make you well-rounded, to see the world it's different from Europe. When you go to Europe, you don't take the arts and you don't take the other subjects that might make you well-rounded. But America understands this more so than other countries, which is why I think Americans tend to be a little bit more well-rounded and have more street smarts than other people, because America pretty much teaches you how to become street smart by the general education requirements. Is usually about 45 units in any university. And what happens is you're more well-rounded for the world and people that are going to be around you. And I think that's really what street smart is all about. And a lot of Black men, based off of where we're at, we're typically pretty street smart as it is. I think the only brothers that typically are not like that, and no, shout out to my brother Jermaine Habib, you're talking about the emergent Blacks. They're the ones that typically might have a little bit of a difficulty with that street smart thing. And a lot of times, you can't not just make it on that academic perspective. You got to have both.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I think that's the thing I'm able to navigate. I'm not that nerdy guy. I'm a database developer. I make pretty good money. Yeah. I was not the high IQ, 30 on the ACT. I got out of high school with a 1.9 GPA. I played ball in college, right? And in high school, how did I get good enough to play ball in college? Playing ball with dope dealers every day. Those were some of my closest friends. Some of my closest friends were drug dealers. I just don't want it to be lost on people that you get in this space. This is what I'm talking about, is we see a lot of I've seen a lot of that where it's like, okay, you're this, you're that. We have to fit people in sections. Like, okay, you're the nerd, educated, lame. You can't talk to women. You can't. Like, no, I'm educated. I went to college. I went to HBCU, but I never had a problem with women. I don't have a problem with Black women, in fact. But you have to fit in some sort of group. They don't know where to put you of this. And I'm like, don't put me anywhere. Just let me be who I am and interface with me as a Black man in America, just like you are. I go home and I see drug dealers and dudes, and we hug and dap. Hey man, what's up? You still playing ball? They always ask me that. You still can jump? You still this? You still that? No, man. We talk for a few minutes and I keep it moving. It's not. I don't think it's this thing. And I just honestly, I'm gonna kind of go somewhere that I went yesterday. I think, and really, to be honest with you, when it comes to street knowledge, I think one of the things I see a lot of street dudes do is try to take this whole approach that they're the real warrior class. We're the ones that we're the real warriors, and you're not. You're because you got your degree. You're not we're the warrior. If the Black community was to go to war, we would be the soldiers. We would be the generals. We would be as if brothers who know how to navigate and use social skills in a corporate environment don't exist. You only have social skills out on the streets with your pants sagging. I don't have them when I'm in a room disarming white people and getting them to pay me $150,000. That's not smart. I don't have any type of strategy. Of course I do. I think it's a big misconception that we've been fed. And I just don't think, honestly, and I'm gonna just say this, I don't even think we're good at being thugs. We need to let that shit go. We suck at it. I got some information I can let go whenever you're ready about it, but we suck at we're the worst in the world. That's not something we need to try to let that being hard. And everywhere I go, in every city I go to, I see black men trying to mean mug. You can't ride down the street. They don't want to, you speak to them, they don't even speak back half the time. That type of situation, that type of energy is not working. It has not worked. Like, we at the bottom of every statistic, every metric. Maybe you probably need to try a different approach. As far as it's not all just racism, white supremacy. It's not. You see Africans come over here, they black, they outperforming out, and they're getting the same racism you're getting. So can't always be that.
You want to weigh on that, brother Kentucky?
Yeah, I was just gonna, add to it. I think that's one of the biggest problems, is that whole separation when it comes to brothers that want to get educated versus brothers that are doing street stuff or whatever. So that separation, I think prevents us as a community from growing, because I think I've said this in the past, but the ratchetness is what's celebrated in our community, and at the end of the day, it's not conducive to us growing as a community. So, I mean, I agree with what you said, Sub-Zero and O'Shea. Y'all go ahead.
Let me say this, and I'm our brother Antoine Wade. Come on here. One of the things about, and I grew up in Del Paso Heights for the majority of my life, but I was never a person associated in, I was not a gang member or sold drugs. But one thing that I was able to decipher is between some nigga that was on some bullshit and who was trying to con me and who was for real. And when you live in, elements where resources are small and the games are much, there's certain things in mannerisms that you can read amongst people to see if they're trying to take advantage of you or not. And one of the things growing up in the black community that gets you ready for that is you're able to decipher that real quick and to see who's a bullshit nigga and who's running con game on you or not. The person who doesn't have to live around sharks, that's an academic. A con man can go to those communities and take advantage of a person that hasn't been around those people. But when you've been around those kind of folks all your life, you're able to even make friends when you go even in Africa. I don't know a lot of people in Africa. I've seen them before though. Like, I've seen them all before. And that's the thing about street smarts. I've seen you, nigga, many times. I don't know you personally, but I've heard that story before. I've heard that story before from that nigga. I've seen you before I met you. And so because I have those street smarts in it, I know I can't go into business with you. I know I can't hire you. I can't work with you. I might not tell you why I can't do it, but for what you're telling me, what you offer me on the table, because of I've already seen you before. So since I've seen you before, I know that I'm not going to make that mistake. Whereas somebody else to say, oh, well, I'm on the continent. Man, we supposed to build with black folks up and blah, blah, blah. And that happens a lot of times, especially in Africa. When you come to Africa and you want to do business on the ground, you forget that, okay, you're so in love with Africa, you forgot that these are still niggas, okay? But you have seen them all before. And when you are street smarts are going to say, you need to show me everything before I trust you. And I can vouch for you because I've seen niggas like you before all my life. And even though I may have never sold drugs or I may have never shot nobody or anything like that, I've seen these con gangs before, and you're not able to run them. And you can tell the people that have been affected by this because they'll move to Ghana. Oh, I got scammed for $10,000. I got scammed for $20,000. I mean, you see it in the conscious community. I got scammed for $30,000 and it was Brother Polite, or I got scammed for such and such and it was Brother Dr. Umar. But you didn't use your street smarts because you had really seen this nigga before. Either you didn't want to admit it or you haven't had. But see, I seen Umar before. I seen Polite before. I seen fast talking niggas all my life that don't mean shit to me. And when I see them niggas, I get the fuck away from them. And that's one thing that street smarts will tell you. It'll help you read people that ain't trying to be read. You understand what I'm saying? What you want to put on that, brother Antoine?
Well, good evening, gentlemen. I think it's morning time for you, O'Shea.
Yes,
thanks for inviting me on the panel, sir. And I love what you said. I think a lot of times when people think of people who are street smart, they may think that they are uneducated or unintelligent. But I do think that's for the most part, a false assertion. I would take it to myself. I did relatively well in high school. I did well in university. I did really well getting my master's. But I would definitely brand myself to be street smart, especially being a man who was in corporate America. So when I think about like street smarts, I think about being able to understand the situation, really knowing what's going on around you. And more importantly, what's happening around you as things start to evolve. I think street smarts is about being pragmatic, really knowing how to do something because you have that experience and you have that hands-on versus being somebody who is just book smart, who is getting basically their knowledge through secondhand with no experience. And
wow. Say it again.
Somebody who is, book smart, they are really bright, but they're getting their knowledge through secondhand, not getting that experience with their hands on. So, I think about myself, right? I was promoted to lead a country in the business or the company that I work for in Malaysia. And I don't think I would have been able to succeed in that role if I wouldn't have had the street smarts to understand that the culture that was in Malaysia was completely different than the culture that's in the US, and how I had to influence that culture, not change it. I had to be the leader, be the person that was out in front without really causing much change. I had to influence it by my actions and what I held as a standard. And that's street smarts. That street smarts is also being able to be in a country like Malaysia and understand that it is a Muslim country and certain things you can't do and certain things you can't say. But also being able to
they didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's really, understanding what things you can't do and what things you can't say. And I would even say to the points where the people that are in this chat, if you would say something in this chat that you probably wouldn't say in person, then you got a little bit of street smarts in you. But just in general, you really have to have a solid understanding of what's going on around you, the cultural norms of different places, and stuff like that. Being a person who travels the world, I blend in just about everywhere I go. And everywhere I go, I typically stand out. And everywhere I go, usually I have a good story to tell. And everywhere I go is absolutely beautiful. Of course, a lot of places have, dumps and stuff like that. But I don't see that side. I see the positive side. And, I think that's what allowed me to be successful in the corporate world and just in life in general, is because, I pick up on those good things and have that sense of street smarts about me, just also with a combination of the book smarts there. So that's what I'll add to the conversation, O'Shea.
Wow. I mean, we can really end the show right there. Let me just add to that because Malaysia was a beautiful example. Like right now, I'm stuck in Uganda, and President Museveni, we have freedom of speech to criticize Donald Trump. If you criticize Museveni, you're dead. There's no doubt about it. Like, you're going to get fucked up. Okay. You gonna walk outside and there's gonna be everybody knows you don't talk about the president. But see, again, that's to your point, knowing where you are and what the rules are where you're at.
Yep.
That's I just wanted to add on that. Thank you, Brother Russell. Go ahead, brother Sub-Zero, and we'll go to Keep Tech.
Yeah, when you were talking a minute ago about being able to ascertain people's motives and intentions, a lot of times when you around and people trying to game you, that's one of the biggest things. Me being a Southerner, being from Alabama of all places, I saw it. I mean, I used to come back in the '90s. I used to be at Run and Shoot in Atlanta. Used to play. When Hot Sauce was getting out of high school and stuff, we used to all be in there playing every day. And I saw plenty of people from New York, Chicago, LA, they would come in and they would literally think that we're just dumb because of the way we talk. They would say things. It's just, oh, you probably y'all Southerners, it's slow. You guys don't know this. You guys don't know it. And it was usually teenagers that were young and immature that would say that. Older people know better. Everybody's the same wherever you go.
Right.
Especially with technology and the information age. There's nothing I think somebody from New York has privy to them that we don't have. There was a time in the South where, like with hip hop, the clothing, certain things that you guys had in up north that we wished we had. But now I can go anywhere in the South and get clothes, anything that anybody can get in almost any city. I can go to a town and some little mom and pop places selling the same stuff I can buy in a New York market. So things have just changed tremendously. And I just think you are at a disadvantage when you think, okay, I'm from the streets. I've been shot at. I've sold drugs. So I'm more man than you are. That's literally why I asked you to do this subject, because I've seen that before. And I've heard people say that. I've heard I forget who it was, but there was some guy, I think he got into it. I think when Kanye did his thing, the guy was talking about Kanye and said he ain't never been shot at like me or something. I'm a real man because I've been shot at or something. I mean, there are people that say stuff like that. And I just, I think that's something that needs to be shunned in our community, if you ask me. So.
Oh, Shay, I would let me just add on to that. So, at one point in time, I thought that being book smart was the key. And I think many people do think that, right? That they think that being academically smart and exam smart is what they need to be. And I think those people typically fall into a category of kind of knowing, having a structured learning environment, and they succeed at that, right? So they study this test, they read this book, they got the answers, then they move on to the next exam or the next book. And I was like that as well too, right? Early on. And I think you find a lot of people who are younger than us in that same category as well, because you talk to them, they think they know everything. I have a lot of coworkers that are like that, and super brilliant people, but they can't find a way to move up the corporate ladder, right? They because they may say the wrong thing in a meeting to an executive that will cause something where they're looked at as somebody who's not a good team player, right? So I think having that practicality is something that's really needed. And it certainly changed my mind throughout life of just being a person that thought that being educated, being book smart, being able to pass a test was the key, until I ran up against people who were like that. And I see that I've been able to leave them behind and shoot ahead because I had that practicality, that book smart. So I just wanted to add that in there, that there's people that probably in here that do think that being book smart is the key, but it's a combination of that, but also having that street smarts as well. That's going to be the key to your success. And O'Shea, you hit it. I think that's one thing that the U.S. does very, very well. And that's why we have a lot of leaders throughout the world, because we have that ability to, connect with other people, other cultures, and so forth.
Have you ever read that book? You guys ever read that book called "Why C Students Work for A Students"? Why A students work for C students. It's Robert
I've heard
Kiyosaki.
of it. I've heard of it. Never read it yet though.
Check it out. He's going into that same subject. That's I'm not going to talk all day, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but I was just gonna add to that if I can, O'Shea.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Great, yeah. Great information you put out there, Antoine. You know what I'm saying? It's always that balance when it comes to, you know, street smarts versus, you know, book smarts. Because I mean it can help you, obviously. And what I wanted to, I guess, say is street smarts is typically, you know, knowledge that you know, gain from your own experience, which I think you guys kind of already hit on that. And so with that, and dang, I didn't forgot my point that I was gonna hit, man. I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead. I forgot my point.
No. When it comes back to you, it comes back to you, keep it, take it, jump in.
Okay. O'Shea, did you want me to play that stuff from Mr.
Yeah, go
Black?
ahead. Let's play the clip. Let me shout out to brother Marcus Love. Is Trump street smart or book smart? I'll take my answer off the air. Trump is definitely street smart. Now I know he was at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton, which was a good school, but he's definitely, you know, Trump can maneuver between a lot of different people. You don't get that powerful if you can't do that. And he's smart guy.
And I don't think he's dumb either. I mean, you don't.
Oh no, he's very, very, very bright.
He's a smart guy. He's a combination of both.
Smart.
Yeah, okay. I would say he's a combination of both.
Very, very smart. Like knowing that word, you can't say the word. Ha ha ha. What's up, Willie? Willie, like he the pimping. All right, so go ahead and play that video, brother. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and approve the stream share. What's up, brother Native Negro? Good to see you, brother Rain.
This is my homeboy, Mr. Black, men taking our community back.
Oh yeah, brother Byron.
He's just gonna go into some statistical stuff about you know, thug culture and where we really fall as Black people and when it comes to be just in general. So he's gonna, and you know, he real analytical. So let's check it out.
More debauchery and dysfunction. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, Brooklyn Blue was kind of right in the fact that a lot of Black men haven't even been successful in their criminal enterprises. I mean, it's just fact. I mean, please name me the Black Fortune 500 company started by a drug dealer or a hustler or whatever you want to call them, pimp, whatever. I mean, Black criminal enterprises have been an abject failure for the Black community, period. I mean, there's been a lot of drug dealing as well as pimping of Black women, but no safe communities, no banks, no food stores or manufacturing companies have been built by Black criminals for the benefit of the Black community. I mean, where does this exist? I mean, if you know, please let me know in the comment box below. I mean, on average, Black drug dealers have been epic failures, and here's why. Most Black criminals are not smart enough to build genuine Black power. They're just not. And you ask me why. Okay, let's talk about the education level of prisoners. When criminals are incarcerated and tested for intelligence, they score at the bottom of most intelligent quotients, which is IQ. Black and Hispanic state prison inmates had the lowest levels of educational attainment. 53% of Hispanics and 44% of Black inmates had not graduated from school or earned a GED, which is a general equivalency diploma. Moreover, prisoners were far more likely than the national population to perform in the lowest literacy on each of the 3 literacy scales. That is the cognitive literacy, the quantitative literacy, and overall reading comprehension. Locked up and locked out, an educational perspective on the U.S. prison population. Most federal and state prison inmates have mental illnesses and substance abuse addictions. And for all the naysayers, listen, don't take my report for it. Do your own research. It's on page 10 in the ets.org media research PDF, okay? Check it out. It's in the description box. A 2004 survey by the U.S. Department of Justice estimated that about 70% of state and 64% of federal prisoners regularly use drugs prior to their incarceration. The study also shows that 1 in 4 violent offenders in state prison committed their first offense under the influence of drugs. And if you don't, There was a 144-page report released by CASA Columbia, which is CASA at Columbia University. They basically revealed that alcohol and other drugs were significant factors in all crimes, almost. Okay, in 2006, alcohol and other drugs were involved in these inmate offenses. 78% of all of the violent crimes, 83% of property crimes, 77% of public order, immigration, or weapon offenses, and probation/parole violations. According to the Center of Addiction.org, 65% of all U.S. inmates meet medical criteria for substance abuse addiction. Also, many inmates have untreated mental illnesses as well. It's an estimate that 56% of state prisoners, 45% of federal prisoners, and 64% of jail mental health problems. And that is sourced by the processing and treatment of mentally ill persons in the criminal justice system, a scan of practice and background analysis PDF Urban Institute on March 2015, if you want to look that up. Okay, let's add a little bit more evidence to your thug saviors that you think are going to come back and magically save the Black community. Okay, most prison inmates are either illiterate or functionally illiterate. 75% of inmates are illiterate. 85% of all juveniles who come into contact with the juvenile court system are functionally illiterate. So are 60% of all prison inmates. Other research suggests that 75% of inmates are illiterate at the 12th grade level and 19% are completely illiterate. Okay, so what is the definition of illiterate? Cannot read or write in any capacity. What is the definition of functionally illiterate? Can read and possibly write simple sentences with limited vocabulary, but cannot read or write well enough to deal with the everyday requirements of life in a modern society. So 75% of inmates are illiterate, and these are the people you think are going to save the Black community? Come on, dude. And you know me, I love receipts. So check in the description box for the Invisible Children written by Ruben Rosario and invisibleChildren.org link, okay? And now that I'm on the roll, I really want to drop some more of these good solid facts on you. You know what I mean? This is not my opinion. This is not, I don't even like saying this stuff. Like this is just true hardcore facts. That's all it is. So in addition, persons with low IQs are likely to end up incarcerated, plain and simple. I mean, people with lower than average IQ between 75 and 89 are more likely to drop out of school, go to jail, and live in poverty. You know, what's even more troublesome is the fact that people with the IQ range of 75 and 89 are like 88 more likely to drop out of school, 7 times more likely to end up in prison, and 5 times more likely to live in poverty when you juxtapose that to the people with IQs over 110. And that was brought to you by the Mega Foundation. And of course, the link is in the description box. Listen, I'm just giving you the raw facts. You could deal with this the way you want to deal with it, but this is from the businessinsider.com. These are the facts. Okay, so expecting a group of marginally literate, mentally ill, chemically addicted, low IQ men to save the Black community is ridiculous. I mean, you know, a lot of this stuff sounds good in hashtags. You know, a lot of this stuff sounds good in these big speeches and they want to, you know, make people feel good. But the reality of this stuff is very, very sobering, to say the least. For example, we got the washed up former drug kingpin, Mr. Frank Lucas. Everybody talks about, from Harlem, the drug dealer. I mean, relatively unknown urban legend until he was played by Denzel Washington in the movie American Gangster. I mean, he made most of his money basically transporting heroin in the coffins of dead American soldiers from the Vietnam War. I mean, today in real life, he's 86 years old, essentially broke and living off supplemental Social Security income. Although glamorized as suave and cunning in the movie played by Denzel Washington, Frank Lucas was actually illiterate, vicious and violent. I mean, described by the New York State District Judge Sterling Johnson, who sentenced Lucas to 70 years in prison. Furthermore, Frank Lucas fathered like 7 children by 5 different women who all became wards of the state and were cared for by the New York State taxpayers. How about the Jamaican drug lord Christopher Dudas Cokes? He was the former leader of the violent drug gang Shower Posse that terrorized Tivoli Gardens in West Kingston, while exporting cocaine to the United States, is now serving 23 years in an American federal prison for racketeering and drug trafficking. During his arrest, 73 people had been killed in clashes between the Jamaican security forces and the Shower Posse gang. And during trial, the federal prosecutors presented documents depicting Coke as willing to commit brutal acts of violence to support his drug.
I ain't want to play the whole thing, man. That was it. I just want to play about 7-8 minutes of it. You can, O'Shea, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here, brother Byron. Be dropping knowledge.
Yeah, man. He a beast, man. That brother is. I hate he
very
stopped
smart.
making. He making a lot of money doing other stuff now, which I don't blame him. But I just wanted to play that because I hear a lot of people say that we have a lot of romanticizing of stuff. When you talk about knowledge, it's more like a gas meter, street knowledge versus. It's not okay. You are 100% book smart and zeros. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be successful, there's no way you're going to be successful even if you can make 1,000, on a test, and then you turn around and get out there and can't even walk in a room and talk to people and look them in the face. And I've seen people like that. So you have to be able to navigate a myriad of ways, not just on this whole, basically fake, Black Panther superhero that really doesn't exist in real life, of some thug that's super intelligent that's gonna do the things that he just outlined. You talking about 75% of them are illiterate. I mean, it's just all the data that he talked about. I didn't even see it because I had to go get my son some juice because he came in here talking. But that's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of that. I just wanted to put that out there in this space. And some brothers, let me say one thing. Some brothers mentioned Jay-Z. Some brothers mentioned Eazy-E. First of all, Eazy. Second of all, Jay-Z's not even, I wouldn't even consider him even a remote guy who's started a major company. I wouldn't. You can call Rock Nation that. I don't think so. I think Rock Nation, is he rich? Yes, but he's been caught lying about his wealth so many times. I don't know what he's worth. I doubt he's a billionaire. I think he's somewhere. I mean, because he's been seen bragging about owning a part of the Brooklyn Nets. You can go and find him and Jermaine Dupri in a barbershop. He's bragging about how much he owned of the Brooklyn Nets. Come to find out, it was 0.1%, which at that time was about, he owned 0.1%. He was just a figurehead to help them get into New Jersey for the Russian owner. They used him. And so this guy, if you're going to lie about that, then how rich are you really? Because this guy calls the media and tells people hey, I'm doing a deal. That's what he does. So you don't really know, even with title and stuff. I'm not saying he's poor, but I don't think we can name one. Maybe, is he successful? Yes. But stop it trying to romanticize. Okay, let's say Jay-Z is a billionaire. Let's say he's that one. How many brothers want to be thugs compared to one Jay-Z? And let's say Eazy-E was one. That's two. And even if you count every rapper, for every rapper, there's probably 20,000 brothers that want to be rappers, that want to be these guys, and they fail miserably.
Right.
So I just think it's a poor way of thinking to just say, okay, well, Eazy-E did it, Jay-Z did it. No, and these guys aren't Fortune 500. This ain't Robert Smith we talking about. Let's just keep it a buck. We not.
Right. Well, I think Robert Smith, both his parents had PhDs, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Robert Smith, both his parents had PhDs. Yeah, I say Jay-Z's a businessman who has real unscrupulous practices. I'll agree.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Shout out to brother Jermaine, and there was another brother that sent me a cash app. Brother Perry about some time ago. Did you want to weigh in on that, brother? Keep taking your brother Antoine.
Yeah, I'll say this, O'Shea, and I don't know very much about the Jay-Z besides what the news media says about him. But if he's a billionaire, he's a billionaire. I would say that he's a very intelligent man. In order for you to be able to navigate America, to be able to get to a place of power like that, you are really, really intelligent. And what I would say is this is, you find a lot of people on these channels. I kind of go through yours, and brother Eliars and brother Kevin Samuels, Andre Hatchet and stuff like that. And you find a lot of people really wanting to get into entrepreneurship. And, they can read so many success stories. They can read the Founder's Secrets formula. They can go to how many TED Talks that they want to. But what happens when you're out in the real world with no reading in hand? It's going to get shit tough. And in these situations, the people who are street smart are typically the ones who's ready to fight and defend themselves. And what you find in a lot of successful startups, right? You have the people like the Jeff Bezos, the other leaders of some of these companies. They have a lot of street smarts. They aren't just Harvard Business School grads and University of Chicago grads and stuff like that. They have a combination of both, because in order for you to be able to get to anywhere in America like they have, you are very, very street smartish, as well as business savvy as well too. So just some advice for the folks who are trying to be an entrepreneur. You have to get that real world experience. And I would advise you to immerse yourself into learning about each part of the business. Growing up in the corporate world, I've been in multiple organizations. I've been in professional services. I've been in support. I've been in customer success. Now I'm in sales. Hopefully I'll get an opportunity to go to marketing and so forth. And I'm getting that hands-on experience so I can talk about it and I can relate to it. And I can talk to customers about certain things in a way that a lot of people who don't have that hands-on experience can't do. So just some advice, get there and try to immerse yourself in the environment as much as possible if you're going to go into the entrepreneurship role or corporate world. But you know that the street smarts is really what's going to help you get there. It's those skills that I talk about all the time, the soft skills, the core skills that's really going to help you get to reach a level of success that's typically higher than the guys who are just book smart.
Let me do this, because there, like on YouTube, if I'll start with you and we'll go back to Sub-Zero. I can find out ways to improve my academics. I can use Quizlet. I can use spaced repetitive learning. There are all type of things that you can improve academia, especially now because you have YouTube and you can do videos as people learn differently. But when we talk about improving your street smarts, quote unquote, if one wanted to do that, and somebody got up and raised a hand right now and said, Mr. Antoine Wade, Mr. Sub-Zero, Mr. Kipateki, how do I improve my street smarts without being in the streets? How would you be? How would you answer that question for each person?
Oh man, that's a good question. But
of course, I ask all the great questions. This is
I would definitely say the first thing I would do is spend a lot of time around people, not just thugs, obviously, in the streets per se, in the hood, but just when meeting people, be inquisitive. One of the biggest books I like, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a classic book.
Right.
There's a book, EQ, Emotional Quotient, Emotional Intelligence, understanding that. Also stepping out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself, getting around people that are going where you want to go, doing the things you want to do, and pay attention and be cognizant of your idiosyncrasies around people, how you talk, how you look people in the face, how well you handle yourself in certain environments. Practice. Just like some of the PUAs, I'm not a PUA guy, but they always say hello to 10 women a day. Just speak to people, not necessarily just women. Just speak, step out of your comfort zone. Don't always be so caught up in trying to be living in your head, which is what I do a lot of time. I'll be so deeply entrenched. I have my headphones on listening to y'all, and I'll be somewhere and forget where I'm at and won't pay attention. Don't deal with people. And it's not good. Sometimes it's best to be in the moment, be where you are, pay attention to your surroundings. And that's the best way. Just be observant. For example, Some of the best guys I've seen with women are very observant of little details with them, as far as what they wear, the type of clothes. Oh, I noticed her hair. Oh, she got a new purse. Oh, because that's an expression of her. Oh, those shoes. I see your shoes. I see little bitty stuff like that will get you so much further than trying to be the comedian. Or, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's just, man, he noticed what by a million guys, he talking about her ass, and then brother talks about her purse. She remembers him. She doesn't remember the guys talking about her ass. So I think that's part of just paying, not necessarily, I don't want to go into women, but just in general, being aware of your surroundings and engaging your surroundings will automatically increase it. And it's going to be, it's a purposeful thing. You have to do it for years. This ain't something you do. This takes time, but in time, I'm not gonna say you can go from an extrovert to an introvert to an extrovert, but I do believe you can kind of become more balanced and comfortable. When you're comfortable, you exude confidence, and when you exude confidence, you can navigate and get what you want out of life. I've walked into corporate environments because I used to walk in people's businesses in hot summer days, sweating, asking them to let me get the keys to their car to wash their cars when I had a mobile car wash. I did that for about 4 or 5 years. So when I started flipping cars, getting in corporate America, I wasn't scared to walk up to anybody and say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. I'm here for the interview." Look people in the face, crack jokes, roll tide or whatever, just to get on people's nerves sometimes and get people to give me a job. Just building some sort of rapport. Watch videos on it. I mean, there's one. What is it? Edward Anderson told me about it. I think it's not social dynamics. There's a YouTube channel where they talk about just that, what you just said. So it's a lot of ways, but just go after it, man. If you go after knowledge, it's there, man.
Let me shout out to a few brothers. Thank you, brother Doug. Doug, I told you I was gonna stop beefing. Prophet of Thought, thank you, brother. Great podcaster in his own right. ODJ, outstanding broadcast, brother. Brother, keep it techie. I'm gonna put you on trial, brother. Because I think Sub-Zero, man, he didn't leave a lot on the table for anybody else. But what do you think? What would you think if you?
No, I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna kind of second what he said. I mean, be alert of your surroundings. This kind of ties to something I learned in the military, which is one saying they said all the time was "Stay alert, stay alive." And so I practice that, in my daily life, and I'm very observant of my surroundings, and that's a way you can gain some street smarts. Not 100%, because a lot of times it's all about experience. A lot of people, when it comes to, learning things like that or street smarts, it's kind of like with a kid, tell them not to touch that high stove, and they touch that high stove, they learn from that. So that's somewhat how street smarts is learned. Just being alert and observant, as well as being inquisitive or asking questions, and that was something that I forgot to talk about earlier, or the point that I was finna bring up that I forgot about, which was dealing with contracts. And that's something that I've had, I say my street smarts, or so to speak, things that I've learned from experience from working in contracts, government contracts, as well as the experiences of others, just from, asking questions and not being afraid to talk to people and understanding how contracts are negotiated, how you can get better rates by going or negotiating the proper way to get benefits or extra benefits and all that stuff. But anyway, that's kind of my answer to it. So I hope
that was good. Let me be shout out to Justin. My sense is not intelligence, it's dirty business ethic. Be willing to lie, deceit, and steal. Has something to do with intelligence. Donald Trump is a prime example. He lies in America every day. Well, I know who you're voting for. Thank you, brother. Rail Lamar, my real life. I grew up with him. This is the $5 we brought in '97. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Prophet of Thought again. Let me be long-winded in my answer, because everybody here would would say that the best quarterback, who's the best quarterback all the time? Anybody on the panel want to take a guess? Who do you guys think is? We take it. Anybody watch football? Who's the best quarterback all the time?
I'm gonna say Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. What would you say, Antoine Wade?
Joe Montana.
I would probably. Okay. What about you? Keep taking.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Drew Brees. No, I'm just playing.
No, I mean, probably completed. I mean, when he completed like what 75% of his passes last year, something like that.
Yeah.
So let's use Tom Brady. I mean, I know I'm using that because a lot of guys won't be able to watch NFL for a long time, and the draft is next week. And I remember when Tom Brady was coming out of Michigan, and he did horrible in that combine. But if we look at Tom Brady and Joe Montana, we're in a way we're talking about similar styles of playing the game. It's very cerebral. And if we would say Tom Brady is the best quarterback, but we would never say he has the best arm. I mean, he can throw the ball downfield, obviously, but that's typically not how he beats you. He beats you by taking what the defense gives you, kill you with 6-yard, 7-yard passes all day. And the reason why I'm saying this is every quarterback learns a specific offensive code. When you go to a team, every offense is run somewhat different, and the verbiage of how that offense is ran is different. It's not the same. The West Coast offense isn't the same as the air raid, or isn't the same as the run and shoot. The verbiage is different, but the quarterback understands certain things. He understands mismatches and stuff like that. And the reason why I'm saying this is a person that's street smart. It's not always the same thing. Pimping is different than drug dealing. Drug dealing is different than robbing, right? But there are certain things that are probably the same. And the reason why I'm saying this is whatever street smart thing you're going to do, you have to speak that language specifically. Number one, if I'm trying to go into sales with Antoine Wade, I need to be open to have some transferable skills, but I need to learn how to speak that language. I have to, if I want to do what he's doing. I think a lot of times we don't want to, and I'm building up to a bigger point. We got to learn the verbiage of what we're trying to do. And the only way to learn the verbiage of what we're trying to do is some sort of mentorship. That's why you have quarterback coaches or offensive coordinators in the game. That's why, Tom Brady, who's the offensive coordinator that he has right now? Josh McDaniels. He's been working with Josh McDaniels for a while. There's a certain verbiage that was put on the New England's offense for a long time. And that offense runs by certain cadences and by certain calls that nobody else knows but them. And a lot of times as black men, if we want to learn the YouTube business, there's Nick Nimmin, there's Brian G. Johnson. They understand how this algorithm works. It operates in a certain language. And a lot of us want to be on the platform and grow, but we don't want to speak that language. And a lot of times, street smart is understanding the fact that you don't speak that language and then you need to learn it. And that's what mentorships is for. People getting paid. Brother Sub-Zero was talking to me a little bit earlier about something that he's doing behind the scenes, that he's paying some money to some people that can help him do something because they speak the language that he doesn't speak. He was street smart enough to understand they're speaking a language that I don't know. I don't know how it works. I kind of know I want to get there, but I don't know it. And a lot of times street smarts is not always global. Like we're talking about this, Antoine Wade. I know I'm being long-winded, but bear with me. When you go to Malaysia, I know Malaysia is not the United States. So that's very specific. It's a macro thing. But street smarts is also very intricate, and it can be very micro. It can be very intimate, okay? And it can be very specific. And a lot of times life is about specifics, okay? The people who are winning right now in the world in the essential economy, like Brother Grown Man Business, he's speaking a very essential, specific language that most people don't speak. That's why he's making a lot of money right now, and niggas are not. So a lot of times we got to understand that street smarts is also very general in its communication, but it's also very specific in its communication. And if you want to be around for a long time, you have to be able to speak specific languages. Like guys who pimp, and I do know some, their language that they speak is not like that of the squares. The rules they live by is not like the life that we live. It's very specific rules, and the only way you would know that is to get mentored by a pimp. You would never know that. And I mean, I know guys don't agree with it a lot of times, but I'm talking about this in very specifics. We have to be able to decode the specific language and how things are done. Business is done a certain way. Okay? This YouTube algorithm is done a certain way. People do it in different ways, but it's run a certain way. And the only time you can be able to speak that language is you need help. You need, whether you pay for it, whether you get up around people that are there, but you have to be able to go into specifics with people who know that language. Like a lot of times in the Black community, we can't get further because we're not around people who know that language. We don't know the language of, let's say, buying wholesale real estate. Like Sub-Zero, you talked about that. You mean a lot of, I don't know that language. You do. So teach me. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to say. I know it's very long-winded, right? But I thought I was doing something there. I thought I was really preaching. But that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead. Y'all got it.
No, that was fantastic, O'Shea. I thought that was spot on. I think when it comes down to, street smarts, and you do hit on a lot of topics about the mentorship and so forth. I think street smart people aren't afraid to be uncomfortable. And let me just say this, right? Like you talked about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, now is in Tampa. One of the things that they said he did was get the numbers out of every offensive team member, or every team member in general. And what he's doing there is really getting out of his comfort zone to meet the clients, right? Meet his team members. He's really getting into the thick of it. And how you learn and grow a lot of the times is by spending time with people who aren't like you, who know something that you don't know. And a lot of that is that mentorship, right? So you hit on some good points there, man. And I would say this, right, is I got a couple friends who grew up with me in South Carolina, and one of them is a bit older. He's in my brother's class, and a lot of the times when you grow up in a place like Orangeburg, you get stuck there, and all my friends are doing well. So I don't want to say, make it seem like they aren't doing well. But one of them had an opportunity to come to Wisconsin, and he was there for 3 weeks before he went back home. And one of the things that he said to me when we were together before this whole COVID-19 was, I wish I would have stayed. Right. He was very uncomfortable being there because he had to basically learn a new language. You're coming from a place like South Carolina, growing up in a all, predominantly Black city. Now you're going to a place like Madison, Wisconsin, having to speak a different sort of, language, because the population is majority Caucasian Americans. Right. And what how you spoke back in Orangeburg is completely different. The point I'm trying to make is you really have to immerse yourself in the situation, get on site. That's what we call get on site, meet your clients, get involved in the dirty work. Don't be hands off, be hands on. And with every experience, positive or negative, you will be more accustomed to getting more comfortable, and that's going to show your confidence, like Sub-Zero said. And it's going to make you more aware of what's going on and give you that extra ability that a lot of people just don't get. So immerse yourself, guys. Get into it and get uncomfortable. If you want to, learn something about, YouTube, and there's tons of people that's out there, but you have to be open to learning from those guys and be receptive to the information that you're getting.
Let me just build on that real quick. Everybody knows that Tom Brady's on the Buccaneers, and Bruce Arians' offensive philosophy is much different than that of Josh McDaniels. Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball downfield. I mean, they have what's the guy, Mike? What's the receiver they have? The big tall guy, the guy from what did you say?
Evans.
Mike Evans, yeah, the guy from Texas A&M that makes all those crazy catches. Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball downfield, and when Tom Brady signed with the Buccaneers, the first thing he did was have a Skype conversation with the offensive coordinator, who was Byron Leftwich, for 2 hours. That's the first thing he did. Then he wanted everybody's phone number on the team to call them. Now think about it. You've been calling you've been using a certain offensive system. Well, they had Charlie Weiss, and I don't know if Josh McDaniel came with Charlie, but I know Josh McDaniel's offensive coordinator verbiage is much more complicated. But still, he has to learn a whole new offense, like the whole playbook. And even for a guy like Tom Brady, that's a big jump. It's like learning a whole new language without OTAs in the office, with any of these things, right? Because you're not going to be able to do OTAs. No double days, because the COVID shut that down. But look at how he got in front of it, like you said, to your point, Antoine. He, hey Byron, what's going on? Give me all people's phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He called. I think he called every player. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he did. Everyone.
Yeah, he called everybody.
I'm not a Patriots fan, but I mean, one thing about Tom Brady that I admire is he's a technician. He's gonna know every any of that field, the offense, the other team, everything. They're very meticulous, and he's been in that culture so long that I would not bet against that guy. And remember now, when he had Randy Moss, he didn't have no weapons. Like, he has not had any weapons. They tried to give him Chad, but Chad wasn't accustomed to those types of complex offenses. So he's a technician. I think it's good. He's kind of doing what you said. You hire someone who comes from a certain ilk, and you let them do what they do. I just hired a guy, and I paid this guy thousands of dollars to sit on a go-to meeting with me and explain how to build my sales funnel. And now he's got me getting in front of a camera and showing my face, making scripts, making videos, buying lighting, stuff I don't do that. That's not me. So, I've written scripts, I've done stuff. I'm like, man, this dude got me about to do some crazy stuff. But, doing it because I know his expertise. I trusted what he said. And he was like, look, if you want to win in this game, you need to show your face. People buy into you as a person more so than just showing a video where you're talking. So that's why I'm doing it. The conversion, he knows this is, he gave me the statistical data. He said, look, statistically, this is this. He's the guy that actually helps build Dan Locke. And y'all know him. That's a huge YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
2.5. Yeah. So that's who I was talking to. So he's not cheap, but it's worth it. And sometimes you have to pay for that. But, I'm looking forward. Like, I'm about to go, but if anybody wants to learn IT or any database development, shameless plug, hit me up and I can help you out. Hey, man, I enjoyed it, y'all. Thanks, O'Shea, for having me on here, brother. I'm going to keep saying something about that conference until you. I know right now.
I'm going to be there. Don't worry. You making all this money. You're going to help me. You're going to sponsor the whole event, nigga.
I just might, brother. God bless.
Let me go ahead and y'all. That's my brother Sub-Zero, man. He's been a real good brother, and he's helped a lot of my people get on. And then we'll promote his stuff. Go ahead, Brother Wrench. I think Brother Wrench is on the line. Go ahead, Brother Wrench.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, boss? Can you hear me pretty clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's going on, brother? And man, I know I'm kind of catching up late, man. I've been at Walmart. But if I start breaking up, man, it's because I live out here in a rural area. But I saw the subject of the video. And if you ever go back and look at any of the other videos that I've been in, I always say that I'm a former Pookie and Ray Ray, right? So without saying too much, in order for me to get to where I am, and in our last video that we did, I told you that I sacrificed a lot, right? And when I say sacrificed a lot, you're talking about somebody who went from, when a lot of people say the street, some people may have nickel and dime, but down here where I'm at, man, in Texas, I went from, my closest friends being able to weigh what we were selling. We had to use a pet scale. You understand what I'm saying? Without trying to incriminate myself, right? So, to go from that type of mentality, and I saw somebody put in the comments, it's murderous, you got to be ruthless, deceitful, and that's exactly true. Because if you're not, then you're probably gonna be the only one who's not like that. Now, when you start dealing with other races down here, of course, you're with a couple of Nigerians who may be plugged in, but for the most part, man, it's just a really grimy, gritty. It's a lifestyle that is definitely not for not for the old. It's for the young and wild, man. And to I'm thankful that I got around some people who kind of showed me some things, or really opened my mind up and showed me what was really possible if I thought differently. So that's my 2 cents as it relates to street smarts versus book smarts. Oddly enough, though, some of the same stuff that you use in the street, or some of the same mentalities that you use in the street, they are awesome when it comes to trying to herd cats in a meeting where it's a lot of people, everybody talking over each other, and you figuring out how to kind of, wrangle everybody and kind of take control of the situation and then get back on task. But it's a mixture of both. It's not just solely street smarts, and it's not necessarily book smarts for those of us who hadn't been to college. So learning how to use both of them and kind of mix the two of them, it's done wonders for me, man. So that's
Okay. No, man, Brother Wrench, you definitely know about that. You have a different experience, brother. I thank you for coming on tonight. Let me ask you, brother, keep it, because like I know you from Louisiana, right? And brother Sub-Zero was talking about a lot of times. I know you grew up in the black community too. Did people basically think that because you were maybe a guy that was in school or something like that, that people think that you didn't understand like con shit or things like that? And do you think that people, like when you're a person that is trying to go to school, they think that you don't understand the other elements?
And to be honest, that kind of answer that question, I kind of I was observing as a kid as well, and I kind of picked up on a lot of the things people said, and even though I wasn't fully living it, you know what I'm saying, but I picked up on terms that were used and all that stuff, and to be honest, that was kind of to simply fit in, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. So I could tell you a quick story, you know what I'm saying, on how I kind of got kind of messed over. I went down to New Orleans, and I got caught by the bottle cap game or whatever. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but the bottle cap game, they basically take somebody's holding a piece of cardboard with some bottle caps on it, and they have a pebble underneath it. And move the pebbles around. Move the bottle caps around or whatever.
I seen it like in New York on the old movies and stuff.
Yeah, they kind of switch it up on you. Yeah, I got man doing that. But I mean, you live and you learn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, that's pretty much what I could say to answer that question.
Okay. Anybody else? No, I don't be sorry. It's all good.
What was the refresh me on that one again?
Okay. So let me ask you this, because you went from Orangeburg, you went to university. You're the Badgers, right?
Yeah, Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I spent some time at Madison as well.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So coming from let's go post grad, because you went to the good Georgia Tech. Once you came back from Tech, and I know we talked about this a little bit. People thinking that you're conceited or whatever. We talked about that. But in the case of, okay, now you have this, and then people think like, all right, because you're educated and you're African-American male, that the black community feels like, you don't understand if they're trying to use you for something, like use you for your time, use you for your resources, like, shady success guilt trips. Has that happened to you before? It has happened to me, but do you ever feel like this? The black community is, because you've been very successful in your life and your endeavors. All of a sudden, we want to play these mind games like, you owe us something now, Antoine, because you went and made it and became successful. So we're going to put this con game on your ass. Like, you need to come and do this for such and such. Has that happened to you before?
No, O'Shea, it has not, sir. I can say this. I kind of been removed from, things like that early. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course,
He said early.
it's early. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still have a lot of friends who I used to associate with a lot, where I would always pick up tabs and stuff like that. And that's became their expectation. But, I learned early on to remove myself from that sort of situation because it's not benefiting me. And my life today is really about how I'm going to get the benefit and how others are going to get the benefit. So it's going to be pretty much if not mutual, I may give a little bit more. I don't ever feel like I have to do this. I don't feel like, the Black community would con me into something like that.
Okay.
I do feel obligated to give back to the communities that I grew up in because I'm a natural leader and I want to do that. And I want to see, other people in corporate America who look like me. I don't always want to be the person that's has to be considered the one or the representation all the time. And, I want to see more of us there. So I don't feel like it's ever a con to get or feel that way, like I'm being conned into anything like that. I just, I know for sure that I have a passion for giving back to the people that supported my development within life.
Let me, before we go back, let me just kind of, you pointed out something that was very important. And the fact that you pointed out was you used to pick up tabs and things like that, and associated yourself with people that pretty much, in other words, didn't have anything to lose, right?
Exactly.
It seems like now you're in a position where, okay, I have something to gain from this person, that person something to gain from me. And even for me, that's sometimes a hard, especially being in Africa. No offense to anybody that's in Uganda, but for me that's one of the hardest parts. One of the things I miss about the United States is you have so many people that are motivated and are like you, and they can take it to the next level. And people are always trying to do in Europe and in Africa, you don't really have those conferences. Like when I saw Erica Williams go to this conference and I see all these $5,000 conferences where you can meet people and stuff like that, that culture doesn't exist anywhere but America. And you see how special America is. So I want to talk about how you are able to, how long did it take you to decipher between dealing with people who had something to lose and staying the fuck away from people who had nothing to lose? And how did you come to that understanding as a young man?
Man, it was being mentored by an uncle. I told you, man. And when I moved from South Carolina to Madison, I had an uncle who really basically comes from Orangeburg as well. And he came to Madison, Wisconsin, worked for Procter & Gamble for some time, and then basically retired from there and, became a real estate developer and a real estate investor. And he always said, Antoine, you're going to be surrounded by a lot of people throughout your life, but make sure there's always something that you're going to learn whenever there is people that are around you. And I learned early on, especially after graduating from out of university, because my first job out of university, I was making like $48,000 a year. And that was back in 2006. Right. And then, the next year is like 54. So of course, I'm hanging out with some of my friends who I grew up with in Milwaukee, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm balling, right? So of course you want to, pick up the tab, and they may be working for Menards or Home Depot or something like that, not making as much, maybe making 20 something thousand. And I feel like I have to, take the bill on that stuff. But when I recognized that, they weren't really providing anything in return, I got rid of that a long time ago. And I think that started to happen maybe a couple years out of undergrad, where you start to get around people who do have something to offer. And before you know it, you say, okay, well, I'm going to take dinner tonight, O'Shea. Dinner could be $400, $500, but the expectations the next time, your homie's going to take it the next time. Right.
Yeah.
So it's you see something mutually beneficial from those sort of relationships, and you find and you say it's not just about money. It's how much are you able to learn from that person during that time. I even say it today. If you were to like, hey, Antoine, or if I was to ask you for an interview or something like that, Oshie, I would pay you for your time. I would certainly pay you for your time because it's valuable. So I'm only going to put myself
you better
in
not. You gonna get it for free, nigga. And also, you need to. And I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna tell me what I'm supposed to be promoting on these next videos I'm about to record, and that's gonna be for free.
No, but that's just
free,
kind of the
nigga,
person
free.
I hear you.
I know you're a good brother, but I'm not gonna make you gonna give me all. You gonna do it's gonna be for free. And whenever you need me to come over, you better not give me nothing. I'm gonna send it right back to your ass. All right.
Appreciate it, brother.
Let me ask you this. Let me go to brother Wrench. Okay, brother. I know you're gonna have a good perspective on this because of the transformation. You went from Saul to Paul, brother, in the Bible. So how did you do this? And I think I want to do a show if we have time tomorrow. Why successful black men need to get rid of dead weight. I think it's a good show. BOA.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, the Dr. BOA. What's up, brother? Man, brother, I know you. Bro, I see you all through Black YouTube giving all this money. That boy doing good. Boy, who ain't no coronavirus over there. Book Dr. BOA channel. Thank you, brother. I thought it'd be a good show. We gotta think about that. Getting rid of dead weight.
Oh yeah, that's a must.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Okay, brother Rich Turner, tell me how you the transformation from Saul to Paul. And how are you able to decipher, like, because what you're doing now? The people that I'm dealing with right now are, I have the street knowledge to know that they're not benefiting what I'm trying to do, and they don't bring anything to the table.
Right. So for me, what it ended up boiling down to, I actually have a buddy of mine that ended up being a mentor to me also. He's maybe about 5 or 6 years older than I am. And I initially thought that he was a street guy because, like I said, every time I saw him, he was in, Jordans, dressed nice, hair stayed cut. He drove, I want to say, a Benz compressor at the time, and he was real quiet off. I mess with him to this day. He acted like the plug, right? He was real standoffish. Nobody could really just come up and talk to him. He would figure out some kind of way to end up in a different spot if somebody he didn't know was really trying to have a conversation with him. So I thought this guy was a hustler, and we were in a motorcycle club together. And like I said, he had newest motorcycles, everything. So I thought he was a street dude. And what ended up happening was he said, man, I got in some trouble when I was 17, and I went to juvenile, and I hadn't been in any trouble since. And if you remember, I was putting this motorcycle together that I bought off Craigslist. I paid $1,000 for it. And he watched me put the bike together, and that's how I ended up finding out what he did. He said, man, I'm a manager for the company that I work for now. And he said, I watched you put this bike together. If you can do that, man, you can, it'll be easy for you to fix the machines up here. And so that really opened my mind up. I was like, damn, he still kept his, he still had to look like he was from the culture, right? And especially being somebody that comes from the type of environment that I come from. But he opened my mind up to, hey, this is a completely different hustle. And if you look at it like that, you get to the point where you learn that it's more than a hustle. It's really a lifestyle that you really live in. And if you live that lifestyle right, then you can change your life. And so I watched his blueprint, and I would always ask him for support and ask him for, guidance and stuff like that. And he really played a huge part, man. Once I actually got promoted to the role that put me over the 6-figure mark, I called him and thanked him, man, and told him I appreciate him taking the time out to really open my mind up. And he always kind of downplayed. He's like, oh man, you did all the work, but he don't realize how much seeing him in both forms, seeing him in street clothes and then being able to see the way he maneuvers and stuff at work. So that's what really opened my mind up, and I just copied his blueprint.
Okay. And Techie, if you want to add in there, brother. He's still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Nah, you guys y'all hit on some good points, man. I don't have anything to add on that one. And actually, Oche, I gotta drop off, man. I apologize.
Okay.
I know.
Tomorrow, brother. Tomorrow, I'll send you the link.
Okay. All right. Hey, appreciate it.
All right. So I don't know, man. Again, I want to shout out to Paulina Johnson, NBA. She been hiding. White man was holding her back. Oh, I'm in quarantine. So I really appreciate you brothers that have been listening. And one of the things that I would like to add is one of the things is on this channel, I do my nigga shit on my other channel. I try to keep the other channel for the nigga shit. I try to do this is like Beverly Hills, and the other channel is like 8 Mile Detroit nigga. And so, basically what I'm seeing with these shows is I'm getting a lot of emails. A lot of brothers are trying to connect. I was supposed to have a show with Dr. Kenyon Meadows today, but I guess he's out saving people. Glennon Cameron, you know that is, right, Brother Antoine?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I do. Yes.
Me and Brother Glennon Cameron was supposed to have Glennon Cameron and Dr. Kenyon Meadows the same day this week. So I'll tell you what, all the brothers that have, so I have a trick for Negroes. I'll put my ads on my celebrity junk, so you niggas will watch those and you see Antoine Wade at the end of that, and you can get. So Antoine, shoot me all the stuff over, Brother Wrench, and tomorrow I would like to talk about, if you guys are available, getting rid of dead weight, and that's probably going to talk more about selecting the right woman for some of us. It's going to talk about getting rid of friends and family. It could talk about relocation. It's going to talk about all of these different things. Because one of the things that you talked about, a lot of black men are afraid to relocate. My brother is a guy that had a scholarship to Jackson State and didn't want to go, and because he wanted to stay home, and then his life, he missed out on so many opportunities. So we talk about all of these things tomorrow, how to maneuver. Antoine Wade will be helping with y'all, because some of y'all niggas, I'm still dealing with dead weight in black YouTube, so I can't really talk about that because I'm still letting some of you niggas hold me back. So, unfortunately, I'm Doug. He's praying for me. He's been trying to tell me to leave you niggas alone, but I keep roasting y'all. But we'll go ahead and shut it down from there. Unless Brother Antoine Wade, let me do this real quick. How many subscribers are we at right now, Brother Black Heights?
I think 1830 or something like that.
1830.
Yeah.
So guys, I'll tell you what, man. Antoine, what's up, Brother Nick? I would love to get Nick Taylor on one of these. I would love
Brother Nick. Yes, absolutely.
He's a very, very, very talented guy. Nick, I'm gonna send you a link tomorrow. I'm gonna schedule the show tomorrow. I'm gonna send my Uncle Nick the show for tomorrow. I want to do this. Antoine Wade has one of the most talented YouTube channels from this perspective. There's only two that I know that talk about it in terms of maybe what he does. As Andre Hatchett, but I think yours is a little bit more succinct because you deal with a lot of how to become more professional. You deal with people that are in the same spaces as you that you could only probably know unless you were in high level management or an MBA graduate, or you can't get this knowledge unless you're already in the game, unless you speak the language that Antoine Wade does. You can't know it. Okay. Antoine Wade has a channel that's specific for African Americans wanting to go up the corporate ladder and do these things. I'm looking at shows right now. I'm going to share it on my StreamYard to show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is what you're going to get. Thank you, Brother Keep It Taking. And also we're going to, so you see this, right? Assistance with resume. 4 tips every first-time manager should do in the first week, which I'm going to actually watch myself to get my skills up. Felicia Lawrence takes her on her journey. Speech pathology and entrepreneurship. There is no way you will get anybody else to do this on YouTube. It's just not possible. Is it Sharon?
Okay. It's not playing, O'Shea, but yes,
it's not playing.
It's up
okay,
there, though.
All right, it's up there. So you see, he got the nice suit coat on with no tie on, but he's trying to be fly.
That's my professional look.
That's the professional look. So he's stunting on y'all. So the reason why we want to draw attention to this channel is because it's very unique. And one thing that they talk about in any kind of social media content creation strategy is you want to stand out from other people, and definitely he's done that. I wouldn't even look at the subscribers. I would say the channel's going to blow up, but look at what he's doing. Chang Lin takes us on his journey in management. Okay. And it's not only people in the Black community, it's people from all over. Jasper Knighton, Leah Thomas, Josh Taylor. Look at all these connections that he brings to you. He brings it to the platform. Nobody does it like, I'm telling you, I watch every YouTube channel in every genre. Okay. Nobody does it like this. not this professional, not this accurate. They don't do it. The collaborations are so unique and so professional. You cannot get it anywhere else on a channel that's catered for African Americans. It's a godsend. Why are you not subscribed? That's all I got to say. Don't talk to me. Subscribe, hit the bell right now. I don't want to hear it.
Appreciate it, brother.
I'm just saying, because the work that goes into doing something like this, how I become a doctor at 36. You're just not going to find people that are going to be able. And it's a lot of work that goes into creating this kind of content, because he has to film it. Then I'm sure he edits it, and he's busy. He has children. He's married. He's on the go. He's doing this by himself. So we need people to go and take opportunities of the resources available. So everybody should be subscribing. Okay. Hit the bell, subscribe, be notified, look at the things he's doing. And also he's doing something that's even different from most of us. He's dealing with everybody, right? You're not just dealing with black folks. Sometimes you get the game. A lot of times you get the game for people who are not black. Hello. And he's catering for you.
That's exposure.
So stop
right
being
there.
lazy niggas. Go ahead, Brother Antoine.
No, I said that's just the exposure piece of it, right? Like, you can learn a lot from people who are different than you are. And that's what I want to bring to, the folks, that you can have, really good, strong relationships with people who just don't look like you. And as you continue to climb in corporate America, unfortunately, the majority of the people are not going to look like you. Keep It Techie sees it, and, Mr. Wrench Turner sees it as well, too. And you have to be able to get the code of them. I think, there's a code, and Mr. Kevin Samuels talks about it a lot. A lot of it's just your appearance, how you speak, how you sound, all that stuff really plays into the perception of you, and you just got to know the games. And that's what I look to do on my channel, just to bring that exposure, man. Okay.
And then also, you probably could collab with Paulina NBA out in Michigan. I think she's in Illinois, one of the Midwest states. How many we got in there, Antoine?
That's a good question, O'Shea. Let me jump over there. It looks like we're up to 1920, man. That's a good amount. That's a good amount, brother. 90, yeah, man. Well, I'm getting new subscribers all the time. So what up, Ty City? Good to see my brother Streamy Wonder. That's what he calls himself. So you guys keep subscribing. Hopefully we can get Brother Antoine 100, get him to 2,000. I appreciate it,
and brother Keep It Techie. Also, he's a Linux tech person. He makes over 100 grand a year on the Linux. Brother Prophet of Thought, we definitely got to build it up, brother. So hopefully I can get Brother Antoine way, because we trying to, we trying to get them subscribers up for the brother, and get more people over there, so we can get more. And then also, the more people that's professional, then that's more collabs, right? He don't have to, he could be in a network where he could put a Gabe over there real quick. He could put a Paulina where it's easier for him to navigate and be in the circle once we want to do that. Also, last words, Wrench Turner, and also don't forget to subscribe to Brother Keep It Techie's channel. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna put Keep It Techie's channel up here. Also, go ahead, Brother Wrench.
No, I don't have too much, brother. If you notice, the last couple of streams I've been on, man, it's been kind of touch and go, right? Been having a lot going on, but really crossing them last T's and dotting those I's, and we'll be able to be a lot more, be able to do a lot more groundwork before the streams, to kind of streamline whatever the information that I'm contributing. So appreciate brothers like
I'm gonna send all of that tonight. I promise, all that tonight to everybody.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
And appreciate y'all brothers, man. Appreciate the knowledge that y'all bring. And like I said, I've been subscribed to since you first told me about it, Black Heights. So I've been on it, been soaking up that game, man, and look forward to continuing to learn and try to apply this stuff to some everyday life.
Appreciate you, Rich.
Yeah. And guys, so what I'm gonna do, I got some podcasts to record, and I gotta give some shout outs to some people at the end. So guys, let's keep working together, and y'all are making me get back into my content. I gotta leave the nigga shit alone. So it's hard, but Brother Antoine, you did an amazing job. Brother Keep It Techie, you did an amazing job. Brother Wrench, I'm thankful for you, brothers. Any last words, brother? Antoine, tell them what they should be expecting from your channel? Now, shout out to Super Chats.
Yeah, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow. It's going to be a narration. I'm going to try something a little bit different, where I don't have to show my face into it, but it's going to be something around the management leadership during this time of the COVID-19. So you expect a video tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. Really appreciate it, O'Shea. Really appreciate it, Wrench Turner, as always, man. I love your knowledge. I have to certainly get you over there as well too for an interview. And talk about your path and your journey that you've had and your journey that you continue on, as well as Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson, man. Thank you guys in the chat for the big support. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. And yes, and I will say my platforms, believe it or not, they do work. Ask Glendon Cameron, ask Erica Williams, ask Sub-Zero. They will tell you that that AM1 will tell you that, right? He got a job with Erica Williams out in Detroit. People have met Andre Hatchett. Our platforms work. People make money here. People, they meet each other. People, they do great things from right here. So, and we are growing. So, thank you, brothers. Thank you, Brother Antoine Wade, for coming over and just, giving all that you know. Brother Wrench, also see you guys tomorrow. I will send out an email right now. I will, Antoine, anything you want me to put out on the shout out tomorrow for the video, tell me, let me know.
We'll do, brother.
Paulina Mud Johnson. Now, don't you be sending these, these Negroes are thirsty now. You look good. You might not want to put that email out there now. All right, brother. Anything you just want to say? All right, peace out, everybody. Oh shit! Wait, 1 second. I gotta shout this because I know you Negroes. Man, O'Shea, I super chatted, nigga. You didn't shout me out, nigga. Let me do this real quick. Man, I my fourth stream tonight. I still gotta work. Well, you niggas make a nigga work hard for this money, don't y'all? Well, it's hard getting money out you niggas. God damn. Brother Nashem Yabin Sharo. Thank you, brother. Keep it techie. Thank you, brother Dr. B.O. Wait, I see them shades, man. Let me borrow them shades real quick, man. I'll give them back. Matt Blaylock, bottom line, if you want an extraordinary life, you got to do extra. Just for my sake. Brother Matt, you sent me an email. I'm trying to find it, man. Street Smart equals, I read it already. Wrench Turner, thank you. Mr. Benilova, thank you. Grown Man, thank you. Just for my sense, thank you. Rail Lamar, thank you. Again, Brother Prophet, thank you. Brother Doug, thank you. Julian, thank you. Tony Davis, thank you. Wise, Will, TCP, Russell, Ken E, all the brothers, thank you. Thank you, niggas. And all of that shit. And we'll see you brothers tomorrow. Guys, and thank you for supporting next stream, lesson stream. Which email, brother? My email? Cut to the chase. Look, here go Nick Penn. Follow my gram, player STH3 Prince 1. I'm gonna be on there lifting a lot of weights, baby. So come on. Don't no niggas follow me. Just all the bitches follow me. It's brother Nick Penn. I haven't been to no Penn or nothing. I've been to Penn State, but come follow me, bitch. I mean, baby. That's my brother right there. He want what's up, guys? Today he want them Uganda models to follow me. Yeah, hey, we're gonna get that stream and we're gonna get that. Yeah, you niggas be I don't want you brothers following me. I want some of these sisters to follow me, player. So yeah, I'm not gonna approve you niggas following my shit, but already know. All right, so yeah, thank you, brothers. Thank you so much. Nick, hit me on the WhatsApp. We're gonna definitely do this. Peace.